Hola, buenos noches, and good evening. This is your weekly news report, and I'm your host, Pedro, along with Rafa and Chief Meteorologist Ariana. At least 169 people were killed Monday in a 7.4 magnitude earthquake that shook western Colombia, collapsing hospitals, schools, and other buildings, and leaving people trapped under the rubble. The worst-hit cities include Pereira, Cali, Quibdó, Manizales, and Armenia, all of which remain under red alert, the nation's highest-level disaster threat level. 7 airports have suspended operations, and hospitals, roads, transportation, aqueducts, energy, and telecommunications have been disrupted in the areas hardest hit, it said. Colombia's newly inaugurated president, Abelardo de la Espriella, said in a national briefing that 700 people were injured in the temblor and an estimated 5,000 homes were damaged or destroyed. The quake's epicenter was reported in the municipality of San Jose del Palmar in the department of Chaco. Colombia's Geological Service said it was the country's strongest earthquake this century. Emergency responders were racing to find survivors as of midweek after the magnitude 7.4 earthquake struck western Colombia, killing more than 200 people as of midweek. That total is expected to increase as responders continue to dig through rubble.
Stocks rose, and bond yields fell sharply. Thursday morning, after a fresh read on business inflation showed prices were broadly flat in July. The report fueled optimism on Wall Street that the Federal Reserve may hold off on raising rates this year, after all, even as inflation remains stubborn. The S&P 500 jumped 0.6%, while the Nasdaq Composite Index jumped 0.8%. The Russell 2000, which tracks small and medium-sized companies, also increased. Both the Russell and S&P 500 indexes also hit all-time highs in early trading. U.S. Treasury bonds also jumped higher, which sent their yields tumbling. The 10-year Treasury yield fell to 4.61%, its lowest level since last week. The 30-year Treasury yield, which had soared to nearly 5.3% in the wake of the Fed's last meeting, fell to around 5.18%. Those falling bond yields could bring short-term relief to consumers looking to take out a mortgage, loan, or refinance debt. Before the drops, the average 30-year fixed-rate mortgage was 6.74%, not far from its highest level this year.
A judge ruled Friday that testimony Alex Murdaugh gave at his first murder trial can be heard by jurors in his retrial. The judge also granted the defense's request to begin independent testing of DNA evidence recovered from Maggie Murdaugh's fingernails and agreed to move the double murder retrial out of Colleton County. Murdaugh was indicted by a grand jury in July 2022 on double murder charges in the 2021 deaths of his wife Margaret, 52, and the couple's younger son, Paul, 22. Murdaugh found their bodies on the family's hunting lodge estate. A coroner said they had been shot multiple times. A jury found Murdaugh guilty in 2023, but the state Supreme Court overturned the convictions and life sentences earlier this year, ruling he was denied a fair trial because of comments then Colleton County Clerk of Court Rebecca Hill made to the jury. A motion seeking a new trial accused Hill of advising jurors not to believe Murdaugh's testimony and other evidence presented by the defense, pressuring them toward a quick guilty verdict, and misrepresenting material information to the trial judge in an effort to remove a juror she believed favored the defense. Hill, who resigned as clerk, denied the allegations, but later pleaded guilty to showing sealed court exhibits to a photographer and lying about it in court, plus 2 counts of misconduct in office, including promoting a book she wrote about the trial. She was sentenced to a year of probation.
Hello, everyone. I'm your Chief Meteorologist, Ariana, with a look at your weather forecast for the week ahead. Dangerous heat continues from the central and southern plains to the southeast through Sunday, spreading into the Carolinas by Monday. An upper-level high-pressure system will remain entrenched across the southern tier states east of the Rockies, staining the ongoing heat wave across this region. Meanwhile, a pronounced mid-upper-level trough over the western U.S. will slowly progress eastward. As embedded shortwave energy ejects from the Great Basin and Rockies into the central plains and Midwest against the strong upper high. Southern tier upper ridging will be well established as the medium range period begins Tuesday and will continue to produce hazardous heat. To the north of the ridge, relatively active flow will produce rounds of rain and thunderstorms. A strong upper ridge remaining positioned over the southern U.S. will maintain hot conditions across the southern plains through the lower Mississippi Valley, Tennessee Valley, and southeast. Rain and thunderstorm chances will push across the Great Lakes to northeast back across the Ohio Valley and central plains by Wednesday with an isolated flash flood threat. The strong upper ridge high will remain in the Four Corners states and high plains, growing north across the Intermountain West with some monsoonal moisture spreading north. The National Hurricane Center is issuing advisories on Tropical Storm Lala and Tropical Depression Arnan. An area of low pressure could form several hundred miles south of the coast of southern Mexico by the early to middle part of next week. Now, here's a look at your 7-day forecast for the Phoenix, Arizona area. After several days in the 90s last week, we'll see daytime highs increase for the coming week, and slightly above average with highs in the mid to upper 100s. We'll also see a drying trend for most of the week. After heavy rain and thunderstorm activities several days last week, the best chance of any monsoonal rain or thunderstorm activity for this coming week will be Friday. Overnight lows will range anywhere from the mid-80s to around 90.
We take you out to Las Vegas, where the first and third overall picks in this year's draft made their NFL preseason debuts on Thursday as Las Vegas Raiders quarterback Fernando Mendoza and Arizona Cardinals running back Jeremiah Love stepped on the field. Both Mendoza and Love showcased their talents in this one. Mendoza, who was the Raiders' second quarterback on the evening after subbing in for starter Kirk Cousins, threw a 6-yard touchdown pass to second-year wideout Jack Beck in the second quarter. Love, meanwhile, had a nice day as well and showed some great moves. This spin got the former Notre Dame star some extra yards after he got a first down on a 3rd-and-1 run. The Cardinals emerged victorious, defeating the host Raiders 27-14. Here's a look at some pertinent stats. The Cardinals' next preseason game will be Saturday, August 22nd at home versus the Dallas Cowboys. Now we take you out to Atlanta, where the Arizona Diamondbacks take on the Atlanta Braves for the weekend series against the top team in the National League, while the D-backs continue to fight for a wild-card spot. On Saturday, Arizona surrendered 2 early runs, but the offense erupted for 10 straight runs until Atlanta tacked on a 3rd run in the bottom of the 9th. Arenado hit his 19th and 20th home runs on Saturday, and it's the 9th time in his career he's had 20 or more homers in a season. Arizona was also 5 for 12 with runners in scoring position on Saturday. The D-backs earned a series win against the NL East leading Braves with a 10-3 victory on Saturday night. The Diamondbacks will close out the series Sunday afternoon against the Atlanta Braves as they look to sweep the series.
That will do it for this week's weekly news report. As always, thank you for watching and have a great week. Como siempre, gracias por ver el video y que tengáis una buena semana.